all the colonies back then. The men that made the Constitution were James Madison Jr., Benjamin Franklin, George Washington, Alexander Hamilton, and all the other representatives from the other colonies. They wrote this so that all colonies would have the right making of the rules. And because the rules before were the Articles of Confederation that were too weak. The Constitution was written at Independence Hall in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It was written in September 17, 1787. I hope you enjoy this play.
Delaware, the state of Delaware proudly ratifies the United States Constitution.
Georgia, the state of Georgia proudly ratifies the Constitution of the United States of America.
New Jersey,
The state of New Jersey proudly ratifies the United States Constitution.
Pennsylvania,
The state of Pennsylvania ratifies the Constitution.
Connecticut,
Connecticut ratifies.
Massachusetts,
Massachusetts ratifies.
Maryland,
Maryland ratifies.
South Carolina,
South Carolina ratifies.
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire ratifies.
Do we make it, James? The United States ratify the Constitution?
Yes, George. We have ratified the Constitution of the United States of America.
Thank heavens.
The heavens have nothing to do with it, George. Thank the citizens of this great country of ours.
The Constitution of the United States of America
It's the thing that holds us together and keeps us from falling apart. The Declaration's the soul, but the Constitution's the heart. It's the thing that holds us together and keeps us from falling apart. The Declaration's the soul, but the Constitution's the heart. It didn't come simple, it didn't come light, till every thought and word was right. It didn't come easy, it didn't come fast, but nothing does if it's got to last. It's the thing that holds us together and keeps us from falling apart. The Declaration's the soul, but the Constitution's the heart.
You know, when I was Commander-in-Chief of the Army, I tried to make my troops swear allegiance to the United States. I started with my troops from New Jersey.
An oath to the United States. Never. We are citizens of New Jersey, General Washington.
New Jersey's not a country, son.
New Jersey is not a country. I must admit that I almost despair of our becoming united.
I never doubted we would.
James Madison, that is hogwash. You were so nervous. You were 11 days early to the Constitutional Convention.
Benjamin Franklin. You know very well that I was early because I was so excited.
That James Madison, I agree, no bigger than half a bar of soap.
But he does have a lot of spirit.
George Washington is so tall, he certainly stands out in the crowd.
He doesn't have a lot to say for himself, though, does he? But on the other hand, Benjamin Franklin never stops talking.
Well, Franklin's all of 82. He has a lot to say. Why, it's Alexander Hamilton from New York. Good to see you.
Hello, Ben. I'm delighted to be here. We cannot go on being linked to these loose articles of Confederation. We need a strong central government.
There's another man who never stops talking, Alexander Hamilton from New York.
But he's smart, and I think he's right. There has to be some sort of change ever since the war things have really been going downhill.
The British still have forts in the West. Don't they know they've lost the war?
But there's nothing we can do about it. The army hasn't been paid in months, and men are just picking up and going home.
That's because nobody wants to pay taxes.
And nobody has to. There's nobody to collect them.
What does it matter? Our money's with us anyway. States are bringing their own.
Our ships are being sunk by pirates. Americans are being captured.
States are friendly with each other.
No account Yankee.
Lousy Pennsylvania buckskins.
Stop it! Something must be done.
We've got to be one people. We've got to be one country. We've got to be one nation if we are to survive.
We've got to be one people. We've got to be one country. We've got to be one nation if we are to survive.
We've stop this acting independent.
It's time for us to act and feel as one.
We've got to be one people. We've got to be one country. We've got to be one nation if we are to survive.
We've got to be one people. We've got to be one country. We've got to be one nation if we are to survive.
I've got to say it clear, it's now or never.
We can't let this moment get away. We've got to be one people. We've got to be one country. We've got to be one nation if we are to survive.
Well, George Washington, if something must be done, you're the man to do it. You're the best-known citizen in this land, and the most respected. We must have a meeting to talk about the Articles of Confederation, and you must come to me.
I've served my country through a long and terrible war. Now I just want to go back to being a farmer as I was before.
You can't go back, George. The country needs you. The country trusts you.
George Washington wanted to be involved in anything but map of the country.
And what about you, Benjamin Franklin? You're one of our most brilliant statesmen.
And one of our oldest. Besides, my goat is killing me.
Nevertheless, you must come.
The meeting will be held in Philadelphia. You live there. You won't have to go far.
I don't know. I'm in the middle of inventing something new. A long pole, two grasping fingers to get books off high shelves. Have you tried it?
Don't speak to me of inventions. If all of us aren't pretty inventive soon, we may not have a country much longer. Gentlemen, we are in a critical moment in our history.
There's a critical moment in everything. There's a critical moment in fact. There is a critical moment in everything. There's a time when you really must act. If they come, seize it then. It may never come again.
There's a critical moment in everything. There's a critical moment in fact. There's a critical moment in everything. There's a time when you really must act.
If they come, seize it then. It may never come again.
There's a critical moment in everything. There's a critical moment in fact. There's a critical moment in everything. There's a time when you really must act. It is now. We can't wait. One more year may be too late. There's a critical moment in everything. There's a critical moment in fact. There's a critical moment in everything. There's a time when you really must act. There's a time when you really must act.
All right, I will come.
So will I, but how will we convince the others? Many of them are afraid to join us. What if they want to preserve them?
They will come. All we need to do is to discuss a few changes in the Articles of Confederation.
The delegates are due to arrive on the second Monday in May, 1787.
Although, some of them won't arrive until months later.
And of course, George Washington is elected the presiding officer of the convention.
Madison, you could be the secretary. You like to get everything written down.
Thanks, Ben. I'd be delighted.
The chair recognizes Governor N. Randolph of Virginia.
This country's in a bad way, Mr. Washington. We need a totally new constitution and a different form of government.
But what will become of our states?
We can never become a nation as long as each state has to pursue its own foreign policy.
We must preserve our states' rights. We have a strong central government.
Gentlemen, we've been arguing for days now.
The chair recognizes Gouverneur Morris of Pennsylvania.
Gentlemen, the whole human race will be affected by what we do here. You all have to make a choice. A strong central government now or a king down the road. What will it be? Gentlemen, will we create a constitution?
Yes! Shh, we're writing the Constitution. Shh, we're writing the Constitution. Shh, we're writing the Constitution. Shh. We will do it. We will try it if we get some peace and quiet, 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 quiet. It's as hot as it can get. All we do is sit and sweat and sweat. Sweat, 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 sweat. We're writing the Constitution. We're writing the Constitution. We're writing the Constitution. We must keep secret what we do. Not a word must come from you or you or you or you or you or you. We're writing the Constitution. 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 We're writing the Constitution.
It is so hot in Philadelphia. It's the hottest summer on record.
There seems to be blue wildfires everywhere.
The cobblestones on the street make so much noise when carriages pass that the city elders put straw down to muffle the sound.
We keep the windows closed and guards stand in front of the locked doors.
We want secrecy.
We need to be free to speak our minds.
And to change them, without having to explain every little thing to the people back home.
And that includes our wives and families. We can run to tell them what is going on.
So we talk and we argue, and we talk and we argue some more. We shout and bang our fists on the tables.
Votes in the legislature should be based on the number of people in a state.
Outrageous! That would give all the power to the larger states.
There should be an equal number of votes for every state.
Then what happens to majority rules?
Indeed! Why should Delaware, with 59,000 people, have the same number of votes as Virginia, with 700,000 people?
Because I don't trust the gentleman from Virginia to act in the best interest of Delaware.
So we talk and to it goes argument and more argument. And compromise.
It's a give and take that make a bargain go. It's a simple fact that everyone should know.
All states, be they big or small, should have the same vote one and all.
No,
That's unjust as it can be. By population, the vote should be.
It's a give and take that make a bargain go. Compromise, compromise. That is where the solution lies. It's a give and take that make a bargain go. It's a simple fact that everyone should know.
We're wasting hours, wasting days, by polling 13 different ways.
yes, 13 nations we can't be. We must be one, as you can see.
It's a give and take that make a bargain go. Compromise, compromise. That is where the solution lies. It's a give and take that make a bargain go. It's a simple fact that everyone should know.
If you give me a thing or two, then I will do the same for you.
Let's get it done. We just can't wait and change it at some future date.
It's a give and take that make a bargain go. Go!
One by one, questions come up and were answered. Or not.
Will our government be located?
Shall we allow foreigners to be members of our Congress?
How new states join the Union?
There must be republics in this country.
Then what should our chief executive be called?
How to yield office.
What about the Bill of Rights?
What about freedom of speech, freedom of religion, trial by jury? It says nothing of all those in the Constitution.
We can't have everything written down. We must provide changes in the future. We will have amendments.
Finally, the mark is done, and the Constitution lies before us, inscribed on parchment for the first time.
I must admit that there are several parts of this Constitution of which I do not approve. Still, I agree to it with all its faults. I do so because I expect no better, and because I am not sure that it is not the best. We must all act unanimously in recommending this Constitution. So I ask all here to have a little his or her own infallibility and put his or her name into this instrument.
Franklin does like to hear self-talk.
September 17th, 1787. This is a date I will never forget. This day, 39 of us from 12 states signed the Constitution of the United States of America.
Now it is up to the rest of the country to ratify it, if they will.
What have we done here today? I wonder.
The best that we could do, George. The best that we could do.
It's the best that we could do. Now the rest is up to you. America, America. It's the best that we could make. It's the test for